Greetings traveler, this is the Challenger. Today we are playing Diablo 2 Resurrected as a Necromancer, with what is most likely one of the safest, if not the safest build for hardcore, and that is Summoner Necromancer. Now, I really tried to kick this channel off with some of the more traditional challenges related to items or wheel builds, but time has come to test this one, so let the challenge begin. Rules. Playing as Summoner Necromancer, using charms and sockets, run ends with killing Bale on Hell. This is solo self-found, no shared stash used. This is hardcore run, 1 life, no deaths. As the name suggests, this build uses summoning skills of Necromancer to raise an army of helpers in form of skeletons, golem and even resurrected monsters to decimate the monsters of the sanctuary. I will mainly focus on summoning skills tree as all the actual summoning skills comes from here, as well as passives like Summon Resistance, Skeleton Mastery and Golem Mastery that are further boosting the capabilities of said summons. There are also curses and some of them are used in here. Just one point is something like Amplified Damage or Iron Maiden or even Decrepify can completely change the course of the fight and make it very possible. Now Necromancer starts with a wand that already gives him 1 level into Raise Skeleton, and Raise is the keyword here, as unlike Golem or Druid summons, Skeletons, Skeleton Mages and Revive, those actually need corpses to be made from. Skeletons are very capable fighters, although initially quite fragile. In the beginning I can have only one, but that will change as I will put more and more points into the skill. With level 3 I am taking 1 point into Skeletal Mastery, as it provides additional bonuses in form of life and damage for my bony friends, but not only for them. This playstyle isn't really active, as there is no way to tell summons to attack certain monster or target them in place, and aside from teleporting, there isn't really an easy way to reposition them either. Now 1 point into Amplified Damage, as it is just too good to pass on and creates a perfect synergy with a swarm that is attacking everything. Oh Bishi Bosh, you are too kind. Everyone's favorite early game armor dropped, set Quilted Armor Arctic Furs, with an amazing boost to resistances. Remember what I said about no ability to target monsters? Yeah, prime example here. Skellies are just hitting everything else but Bloodraven, occasionally coming up to their senses, so now you join my army of the dead. Next skill at level 6 is Clay Golem. It creates golem that does damage and slows enemies, and it does not require any remains to be cast. Apparently skellies are made of pure calcium, as fists were not able to crumble them, so I got the scroll and roll into Tristram. Now imagine Kane's surprise when he was imprisoned by demons and was rescued by a guy, clay dude, rogue archer and 4 skeletons. You better stay in that cage, old man. This is a mandatory part and reminder to always visit Countess and gather runes for stealth. Always. I also found this insane wand while I was doing runs, and boy, let me tell you, it is a nice boost for my Skelly boys. Another curse now at level 12, Iron Maiden. It causes the damage to monsters while they are attacking others. Basically Thorn's ability, and it works great on bosses, especially when you have so many helpers that want to die for your cause. Smith got his ass handed to him, and Andariel was honestly not too far behind. I was debating of using Iron Maiden here, but honestly Amplified Damage did just fine, and fight did not take more than 15 seconds. Now aside from boosting my army through sheer skills, there are of course auras, and I got Jamali with Defiance to boost their defense. So this should be fun. This is one of the very few times that I am not dragging away Radamant's minions out of his lair, just so he cannot revive them, because everyone is overwhelmed all at once, so they don't stand much chance either. Maggot lair is always such a pleasant time. No, of course it's not, especially when you are doing it as a summoner, and each of your summons have collision, making them take turns attacking certain monsters. So it is taking about 20 minutes to get the staff. I am getting teleport staff in the next difficulty. After getting mandatory amulet from the claws of the vipers, I went back to town to get myself a stealth armor, Tal F. This is mostly for the sweet faster run walk and the cast speed. Nobody on my team was really interested on dealing with summoners, so I had to activate the portal, get in, get back, and only then they were kind enough to use their weapons to politely ask the blue man to shut his face. Because you cannot revive any skeletons in Duriel room, it is good to make as much of them as possible, so I switched between curses, in the end opted for the Iron Maiden, and well, whole fight was a joke. He dropped Satellite Gauntlets, Irata's Cuff. As previously mentioned, I did some shopping for that sweet stuff with teleport charges, as it will be very useful in the future. Come forth, my minions, come and lay waste to this jungle to bring me its secrets and trinkets alike. Slaughter the monsters, vanquish the spiders so I can collect my prize. Pathetic show of no force apparently by Endugu, so I am grabbing the brain from the dungeon. Then we raft up some bat wings in the sewers to grab the heart, to eventually raid the temple like that famous archaeologist, but I like to kill my prey and not put the stuff into the museum. There is not much to talk about at this point, so I am just rolling over everything, especially that I have some skill boosts in the summons, and I'm just happily standing in the back spamming amplify damage until everything is dead. Cozy. Resistance is futile as I command the dead itself, so Mephisto didn't stand much chance. His only saving grace was that he positioned himself in a place where not every minion was able to hit him, so he prolonged his pitiful life by a couple of seconds. At this point in the run, it's mostly just pushing onward and getting whatever you like this usual and skill points I will get from him, and because there are so many synergies to this build, hard points are always appreciated. I didn't mention this, but somewhere down the line I took a point into Golem Mastery, which improves life and attack rating and speed of the Golem summons, just to get Summon Resist, which improves resistances for all the summons available at level 24. Hephasto is sporting that juicy might aura. I cannot wait for the next difficulty to get myself some nice spearmen with that one. I wonder what more I can get. There are several rune wars that can give some beneficial auras, although most of them are pretty expensive. Time for Diablo's henchmen. One by one they are falling into their deaths. Nobody can stop the true army of darkness, and you know shit is easy when even Infector is not able to break through some shiny bones. Diablo was actually the first monster that was actually hard to kill. I mean, it is not the right word, he was inconvenient. Just because he kept killing my monsters, and sure, I could spam Iron Maiden and resummon Golem so Devil could kill himself, but I did several run around the sanctuary to resurrect skeletons over and over again until he was dead. He dropped two uniques, Chain Boots, Threads of Chthon, and War Axe, which is Rake Scar. Back to regularly scheduled programming and steamrolling everything until next, let's say, roadblock. Here is Shank getting absolutely stomped into the ground just because he dared look into my general direction. So far I am only using one rune word, and that is Stealth. But I need some more runes to create some items later on, so while I am here, let's get those barbarians out. No, I won't kill you, I promise. Got to Anya to help her not freeze to death, for what I would assume would be a worthy endeavor, but of course she is not that generous to give me something of value. True prize, and I mean that specifically for Summoner Necro, is this: Portal to Nilatak's temple, as every time you load the game you need to summon your friends, and this is the best place to do so. Said Nilatak seems to be a fan, as he is cosplaying me, but unlike me he doesn't like his minions, as he is exploding their bodies just to hurt us, but it does not faze me or my skellies. In the end, he tried running like a traitor he is. Ancients fight, well, it was certainly a fight, not sure if a fair one or any side, but they did die rather quickly. Moving on, nothing to see here. Not even Lister and his minions were able to withstand my might. But now Bale, and I fear this might be a little bit like Diablo and I don't have corpses here. As expected, he turned quickly through my legion, but they also chunked him in return. Fortunately, those corpses from the temple can still be accessed while in town, so whenever he was summoning his clone, I was just racking up my numbers to face him once again. In the end, it came down to him just crushing against Clay Golem, hurting himself with the Iron Maiden. He dropped two uniques, Arbalest, which is Langer Breezer, and Flamberge, which is Ripsaw. I'm finishing normal with level 29, with most of the points put into Vitality, and skill-wise I'm maxed Raised Skeleton and started putting more points into the Mastery. With gear there is nothing special, most of the stuff is just random rares and magic items with health and resistances, alongside Thread of Catan and Stealth. Also, I am still using that one from the first act. Quickly I got to level 30, unlocking my full potential, and first ability to take is Revive. It allows to resurrect monsters for a set amount of time, with increased damage and health to fight on my side. Another sweep of Den of Evil brings another skill point. Then we moved to Darkwood to bring some order and grab the scroll, only to pay a visit to beautiful countryside of Tristram Town to rescue this old man. Necromancer weapons of choice is usually the wand. Only problem is that while very powerful can drop for you, there is only really one rune word tied to this weapon type, and that is white, which is best in slot for Bone Necro, but for Summoner it only really gives that 4 to Skeletal Mastery, other to what base wand will give you, so unfortunately I think yet again I will have to resort to Spirit, as it will just boost everything overall. Although I got all the runes, I still need the base for that, so until then I can create a Lore Helmet for more +2 skills and some damage reduction. Undead is still very much an easy fight, thanks to abundance of corpses nearby. Even if she kills anyone, I can just raise another one. But it is noticeable that damage has fallen off a bit, and it was way better to defeat her with Iron Maiden. Now let's improve the situation with the damage by hiring Kasim with Might Aura, which will massively improve physical damage of the party, and while testing the output of the said monsters, a unique ring dropped, which was 30% Magic Find Nagel ring. Yeah, this bastard knew it would be all over soon for him, so he huddled behind the pillar as I stole all of his minions. But once he was done, I took the book and invested 1 point into Corpse Explosion. This wasn't really needed before, but because it deals fire damage, it will help later with physical immunes and overall clear speed. Can I go through Magotlet normally? Yeah, probably. Do I want to? Absolutely not. I didn't buy that teleport stuff only to collect dust in my stash in town. And just on level 3 I found quite an insane one with +2 Necro skills and 3 to Bone Spear. So I got the staff and the amulet as per usual and moved to another place where I could use that staff. But there is some more room here, and usually it just takes 1 monster to fall, so I can use Corpse Explosion and watch the dominoes fall. I have so many soldiers now that not everybody got to even touch Duriel at the same time. He has to kill some of those, killing himself in the process, to make space for another to join the fray, and once he gets rid of them, I'm just going into town to pick up more and finally finish him off, or rather, he finished himself. Now I know there isn't much fighting with this build, so health and resistances are not that crucial, but damn am I squishy. 1 point into Vitality only gives 2 health for Necromancer, so every bit helps. Now let's desecrate some spiders and grab the eye. Just a kind reminder that insight does not belong into spears. I mean, for me it would absolutely make sense, but devs decided to make every Diablo 2 player look stupid, trying to jam all the runes, ending up with something like jammed Warfork or something. Monsters such as these that are immune to physical damage can be a problem. Sure, I can avoid them, but there are ways to deal with them, and of course first would be Corpse Explosion. But I am also considering getting Fire Golem, but that is a bit of an outlandish idea. I resurrected some zealots and hierophants before council, but this whole fight was a bit problematic as two of them had stone skin and they were constantly healed, so I did a little run around to take them out of the temple to kill the members and then finish off the elites. And one of them dropped a unique edge bow, which is Sky Strike. I am vastly underleveled. Does that matter? You can judge for yourself. I don't see much difference really, as Mephisto is steadily dying for the second time. This is the worst part of every session with this build, to actually get some skeletons and get the ball rolling. Normally, when you already have Nilatax's temple available in Act 5, that is not a problem, but until then, it can be a struggle. Well, I got some burning souls on my side, so now I have no idea which lightning is good one or the one that won't kill me, and which one is the one that could basically end this whole run. But for sure, Visual can help me figure this one out. I have something very specific in mind to try later on. That's why I'm so happy I took the time to find the Hellforge, as it gave me a core rune, something that I'm usually looking in all of the melee-centered builds. Having in mind the last fight with Diablo while I was clearing this place, I tried not to use corpse explosion as much to preserve the corpses around for possible skeletons and revives, but sometimes temptation is just too much. Also, Lord Desace dropped a unique war scepter, Storm Eye. Turns out that my worries were not plausible, as Diablo had a hard time of killing anybody aside from Golem and my mercenary. But because Kasim kept dying over and over, this just took a little bit longer due to lack of might aura. That however did not stop my skeletons, that are apparently made of from titanium or other adamantium, to slap his ass into oblivion. Once again I took a trek across the bloody foothills to overwhelm Shank and next Eldritch. In Frigid Highlands I found all the barbarians to be rescued for additional runes. Also I found this very nice jewel that gives some life, but more importantly, aid to all resistances. Might be useful. Going through Crystalline Passage I found this superior ethereal Hyperion Spear, and it gave me an idea. So let's do it. First I need 3 open sockets in it, so Larzuk's quest is immediately useful. Next, that core rune will be perfect for Hustle Rune Lord. That is a massive weapon, and I really wanted to do this one because of the fanaticism. Kasim will lead my troops into victory. Only problem is that he cannot wield it yet, but once he is strong enough and agile, my god, this will be carnage. Anya's leg has been freed from the cold, and Malak's scroll makes that I am not in the negatives with my resistances. Also, I have now access to 3 corpses if I need, thanks to Nilatax's temple. So you know those succubi ladies, right? So there is a nice glitch, or I don't know, maybe it is a feature, but sometimes Revive is just animating the corpse instead of full monster, resulting in this creepy summon. With Ancients I just had to make sure that my summon pool is full, and none of the barbarians have stone skin, and it turned out that the first 2 tries, 2 of them spawned with just that, but after those blunders they didn't really stand much chance. They were brought down very low and they finishes in like 5 seconds between each other. Most of the times I'm picking some items that might be valuable just to accumulate gold, and I had this war club sitting in my cube. Let's just say the name was pulled out of the ass. Bale was strange. Somehow I didn't see that he immediately cloned himself, and my minions were dealing with that until it was beaten. Soon after, most of the revived monsters died, so I had to restock in the best and also the nearest place possible, Traitor's Temple. Monsters are not dealing with Lord of Destruction pretty well, so most of the times I had Iron Maiden on him just so the damage will keep ticking, and when skeletons were alone, then I used amplified damage so they could finish him off quicker. He dropped a unique Morning Star, Blood Rise. I am ending this difficulty at staggering level 53, with 95% of my points jumped into Vitality. I maxed Raise Skeleton and Skeleton Mastery, while also pumping points into Revive. Also, I got myself 1 point into some curses. Gear is mostly just random stuff found along the way, with that perfect Nagel, stealth and lore helmet. Nothing special. So, level 53 starting hell. Do I need to farm? Are you insane? I just need that first skeleton when we are in business, son. There is no threat on this planet that can stop this ball from rolling, and while sweeping through Den of Evil I found a white monarch. Doubt I will use that, as my Necro has the body of a dried tomato and won't be able to lift it. I put way too many points into revive and I will need to respec. So for now, point into fire golem to better deal with physical immunities if they appear, as amplified damage can break their immunity, but clay golem is simply not doing much at this point. So let's respec. I took points from revive and put them into fire golem. Also finally got a point of bone armor and its synergies for that, and just took amp damage and Iron Maiden since I don't really need more than that. Now another thing, I need an edge bow on the swap. Thanks to that level 15 Thorns aura, it will be way easier to deal with bosses, as they will be killing themselves even faster. Also, this one of the few items in the game that reduces vendor prices. It is always good to get if you are gambling. Honestly, I should have created this bow way earlier, but until Nightmare Bale that wasn't really needed. But as you can see, it works wonders. While I do not really need any runes anymore, my shield is still the one from normal, so this Lamb rune drop might prove useful if I find a nice base, so I could maybe do a Splendor in it, and well, what do I see? Right before Catacombs I found this absolutely gorgeous Lamb rune. Kasim is finally mature enough to wield the Hustle Spear I made him, and even if that is level 1 fanaticism, re-off effect is not great, but the benefits absolutely are. Bone Ash was gracious enough to drop unique ring Dwarf Star. Now you see, with all the auras enabled and even wrong curse used, Andariel crumbled like a house of cards and just shot up in flames. Glorious. I'm getting to a point where I consider another respec just to get that spirit shield, so I used Lar's quest from normal to get my Monarch to 4 open sockets for later. There isn't really a need for more hardpoints, although damage output is getting lower with every act, but I would love to strengthen my skeletons even more. I just need that damn sword to make a spirit. Speak of the devil and he appeared. Now I wanted to wait with the shield since I didn't have a sword, because once I will make a switch, it will offset needed strength with vitality and resistances it will provide, so now it is perfect. I can make the respect wield both and this looks lovely. Yeah, no. I took that teleport staff and just went hunting for the worm and watched his filthy Kate went up in the exploded bodies of his breed. Looking for the Claw Viper temple, I stopped by the Dark Elder and he dropped a very nice rare amulet that I honestly will most likely wear, even if that is 2 to poison and bone. So I got everything I need, went through Sanctuary and Talrasha's tomb without much trouble, so it is time for Duriel. Kasim got insta-gips to Oblivion. I need to get him some better armor, but even without him, just using an Edgebow and Iron Maiden, this fight is a cakewalk. Dude, stop hitting yourself, you will get hurt. What the hell? I took the Golden Bird to Alcor to get a potion, and well, it seems I am stuck in his hut. I cannot move past him. Why do NPCs have collision in town? It's time to upgrade Kasim's armor, and with that Lamb rune I found earlier, the choice is obvious. I am of course talking about Treachery. That Fate proc will do nicely to protect him, and attack speed boost is going to help him in the fights. Finally, Ormus gave me something that can be used. Sure, it would be way better for the melee character, but that 15 strength and 8 to all resistances is nothing to scoff at. I got Kalim's brain and realized that I never grabbed the eye from the spiders, as when I was in the cavern I warped into town and Alcor didn't let me pass and I had to quit out. But after that I went to the sewers and immediately went back as I got chased by the dolls. Man, that was the weirdest council fight I had. First of all, I could not see what was happening. They were dying, we were dying, suddenly there were more council members than my skeletons. I had to restock 2 times until I was able to get Flail and go to the Durance. Level 2 of Durance was sprawling. It took me half an hour to get to Mephisto himself, and Lord of Hatred, although not as easy as Duriel or Andariel, wasn't really a problem. Although in most of the boss fights I cannot use my best damage dealing ability Corpse Explosion, it simply doesn't matter. He dropped a unique Francisca, the Scalper. Pretty cool weapon for the throw barb. Couldn't find Isual in this hellish landscape, so I paid the visit to the Helford Smith, and he was generous enough to give me 2 hammers actually, and one of the greatest weapons in the game, unique Maul Bone Snap. Massive crushing blow and overall damage. While I was here I crushed Mephisto's Soulstone to get an Ire rune, and while it is not the highest of the runes, it is very useful for the myriad of helmets. Well, not much can stop me now as I am rolling through Chaos Sanctuary, and I am saying that as if Infector heard me speaking it out loud and decided to be physical immune and to make my life miserable. It honestly took more time and resources to put him down than Diablo. Speaking of the devil himself, the worst part was getting him outside his spawn zone, but once this was done, there was no escape. Even without Kasim and his auras and general damage, Diablo got killed by his own hubris, or, you know, Thorn's aura. This build is such a joy, it is very hard to die with it, especially when there are tons of skellies just running beside you, so almost never you are the first target on the line, and once that first corpse fall, it is just destruction. Normally in those runs I am not doing Frozen River in Hell, but since I need an insurance in form of the access to Traitor's Temple, I went by and found a replacement for my rare gloves that I had since normal. Another unique ring and another 30% Nagel ring. I haven't found many of those and now 2 in the same run. Is this the double Oculus scenario from the Fireclaws run? Stone skin with no ability to break the immunity. Hold on, what are you doing? Leave me alone. I said leave me alone. Help! Help! Jesus Christ, what's this guy's problem? This time around Ancients were just splendid. I actually defeated them on the very first try and did not need any reset. Just look for yourself as this was glorious. Now this is a nice drop. Set Heavy Bracers, Triangle's Claws. One of the very few gloves that provides faster cast rate and a part of Necromancer set, but it is more targeted towards Poison Necromancer. So I thought that Minions of Destruction would be a main roadblock, but well, not really. Iron Maiden and Thorns made a short work of them, but Bale... Now Bale is a different story and I am not really sure why. This idiot was just really annoying. I tried different combination of curses and equipment, but it seems that Edgebow and Iron Maiden was still a way to go. But Bale was just cloning himself frequently, pelted entire area in appendages, and I think I had to make 5 or 6 trips to town to revive my army, but after 15 minutes of back and forth, the last demon was dead, and with him I could complete this run. Almost all of my stats went into Vitality and just enough strength to get Spirit Shield. I maxed Skeleton Mastery, Raised Skeleton and Fire Golem, with a lot points put here and there. Gear-wise, my Merc has a Treachery and Hustle with some random helmet. I still have my Stealth Armor, Dwarf Star, Double Spirit and Lore. Rest are just good rare pieces that improve my resistances, and of course Edgebow on the swap. This build is such a staple, and in Resurrected version it can be made even better, as a lot of underutilized abilities were buffed and even something like Fire Golem can be used, although by the end it wasn't really that useful. but this is mostly due to the fact that I simply lacked blasto skills. Speaking of golems, there are two more. Blood Golem, which can leech life for himself and me, can be made to a very good tank, and more interesting one, Iron Golem, that needs to be created from an item and its taken attributes, so you can have another potential source of a powerful aura like Insight. There are also skeletal mages that are elemental based shooters. They are better in this version, but still not that great. But come to think of it, I am wondering if maybe there is a viable build for them, Fire Golem and lower resist. Something to consider. Nevertheless, if you like not involving yourself in the battle, sitting in the backline cursing everything and exploding corpses that will destroy entire screens of monsters and be absolutely untouchable while doing that, this is for you. And like I said in the beginning, this is one of the safest builds to do the hardcore. It is cozy to play, do not require that much involvement, and it is great to see how your minions tear everything apart in your name. Highly recommended to try. Thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned for more games and gaming challenges. Like it if you like it and subscribe for more videos in the future. Challenger departs.